Okay, you are now live. Maybe.
Damn, you got it that quick?
Dude, I can see the icon next to your name. I know when you go live. I can see it.
Ooh, you're so special.
You know what, Doug? Big Show and Kane have the same moves.
So
Like StraussMan?
Yeah.
Oh God. Why?
But Big Show changed his he did the knockout punch for a while.
Oh God.
Okay, everybody sounds good. Alright, yo! What it do, GG Nation? GG Legion. What's up, Joe? How you doing? It's your fella again, StraussMan, the GG. Welcome to our Devil May Cry 5 spoiler cast. I know it's been a little bit later, but shame on the Bearded Wonder. I really wanted him on this podcast, but hey, we got somebody instead. We got someone better. Someone you haven't seen in a while. Sorry.
Wow. I'm
Steve Arena, how you been, man? How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good, good, good. Thanks for joining me. Steve's also going to be joining us on our Marvel podcast. So it'll be me, him, Tim, and JJ. We'll probably do that next week. There's been a lot of gaming news, but this is strictly going to be Devil May Cry 5 spoiler cast. We're going to get right into the nitty-gritty, and of course I got JJ as usual. What's up, Cuzzo? How you doing?
I'm very good.
What's up?
I'm not gonna ask you how you're doing.
Congratulations, Joel. Thanks for coming. Congratulations, man. I'm glad your niece made it home today. How's the audio, guys? Does it sound okay?
Oh, the audio is fine. I was just in there a second ago.
Okay, cool. Well, I know us. I don't want the game to be so because there's a lot of guns. I'm gonna probably basically just play the whole story for you guys while we talk about it. That's why my fingers won't hurt as bad. Won't bleed. But dude, we've been playing a lot of Dark Souls as well. But shout out to Timmy. We were playing some. I wanted to stream some of that for you guys, but it was going to be a really short stream, so we decided to just hop on here. I'm excited to talk about this. Devil May Cry series is one of my favorite series. So to start out, normally how we do with spoiler casts is we'll talk about non-spoilers for a little bit and then go into spoilers. Again, we're going to go strictly right into the nitty-gritty. We've been doing that for the last few times because it's been about almost a month, I think, since this game's been out. So we've been slacking a little bit on the spoiler cast a little bit. But I just want to start with the panel's overall thoughts of the game. You know, whether it's the art direction, characters, whatever. Just what your overall thoughts. What sticks out to you? What you think of the game? Let's start with Steve Arena. How you doing, man? What'd you think of it?
Alright, how about you? Honestly, I loved it.
Yeah.
It's actually been a while since I played a good Devil May Cry game. Last one I did play was Devil May Cry 4.
Yeah, which was 10 years ago, which is hard to believe. And I'm guessing...
Yeah.
I'm guessing, Steve, you didn't play Devil May Cry, the remake, I'm guessing.
You mean that shitty reboot?
Yeah, that's
God.
true. It's not a remake.
wish.
I'm sorry, the reboot, yes.
Oh,
The reboot.
never again. I'm sorry, but that game was trash.
I actually thought Ninja Theory did a really good job on the combat. The story could have been a little bit better. I mean, they made him a Nephilim, which was angel and devil hybrid baby, instead of a human demon, you know, hybrid, which I prefer more. I prefer the other half-C instead of the Nephilim. And I thought they did some really interesting designs with the sages on that one, where, you know, it's kind of like corporate America are actually demons and stuff. It was really interesting. I thought it was pretty good. The only thing is the characterization of the characters could have been a lot better. But I do agree with you. This game was effing awesome, and I rather would have had this than that. But I think DMC definitely gets a bad rap because they try to differentiate a little too much, I guess. But I really did enjoy it and love it overall. But this was almost the perfect Devil May Cry game for me, and I'll explain a little bit later. But I want to get JJ's thoughts. What you thought of your first time ever playing a Devil May Cry game, right?
I liked it. After beating it, I liked how it was paced. At first, I didn't. It was real slow, and I didn't really like playing as Nero at first.
Yeah.
And then you unlock shit, and he's better. And
Yeah, I felt the same way with Nero, for sure. Like, I really did feel the same way.
Because going into it, I was just, oh, the combat's gonna be crazy, you're jumping off of walls and doing all this other crazy shit, and it wasn't like that at first. And then I just had to get further in the game.
Yeah, Dante is when the real fun begins, I think, for a lot of people, because he is everything you just described. It's the over the top, you know, the wall jumping craziness, the 4 forms he can switch from, which are always amazing. They did that in Devil May Cry 3, and that is when I think the series really took off for a lot of people. I know that one's a prequel, and we'll talk about that one a little bit later down the road. But I really enjoyed it. Like, this was such a big love letter to Devil May Cry fans. The game we wanted for a very, very long time, which you're going to see all the cutscenes play through. The characters look different, it's because I put the EX costumes on them, guys, so it'll make this cutscenes look a little different. But, I mean, the graphics are insane with the Resident Evil engine in this game. Like, the Resident Evil engine is insanely amazing. Like, I couldn't believe the graphics in this. This is definitely the best looking Devil May Cry Devil May Cry game. Wouldn't you say so, Steve?
Yeah, it really is, to be honest.
I don't really compare them, though.
You kind of could have, you know.
They're 10 years apart, man.
True, but I mean, like that one did look good for the time for sure because it was in-game engine. But this game really, like, visually stands with like the rest of today's gaming is what I meant. Like games like, you know, like Last of Us and God of War. Like, it looks that pretty. Story-wise, it's not as good as that, obviously. But visually, it looks fucking good. Like, it looks really good. It's a very impressive looking game. Same thing with RE2 Remake. You know, when I first started playing RE2 Remake, I was just blown away how good it looked. Because I saw a bunch of the trailers, I saw people playing it, but when I actually played it on my own TV and saw how it looked, I was like, damn, that looks really good. And it's the same thing with this. Like, I was very impressed visually with how the game looked. But continue, JJ. I didn't want to cut you off.
Well,
completely.
no, I cut Steve off. Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
I guess I was done.
Yeah, it's... Well, I was just saying that I can play 4. But,
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Number one, I'm disappointed in you because you gotta play it.
Well, I don't have
You're still gonna play it. You have to now.
I don't have to do anything. I just... It was visually it was awesome. They did a great job with the graphics.
Yeah, this is definitely the most cinematic Devil May Cry. But go ahead, continue.
Well, the character models are great. You know, you never... Like, what about it? Well, Sekiro, I've been playing Sekiro, and when they talk, their mouths don't match what they're saying. Like, if you turn the camera,
Well, yeah, because I think the natural language for that one is the Japanese.
Yeah, it's Japanese. Yeah, for sure. So, but, you know, everything... It was fun, man. It was a really fun game.
Yeah, it was. I had such a blast with this game. It was such a, like I said, this is almost the perfect Devil May Cry game for me personally. It had a really fun story. It had a serious story, but it wasn't so serious that it wasn't Devil May Cry. And that's what I loved about this game the most, that it was Devil May Cry. It was over the top. It was campy. There was a lot of one-liners, a lot of jokes, a lot of serious moments, not as serious because of Dante, and that's just Dante, man. You know, he's just
a good twist.
I thought it was painfully obvious who that was, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's get into the combat.
No, not that. About that being... Okay,
well, we'll talk about it in a second.
Combat.
Well, let's talk about the combat. I want to talk about the combat, and... JJ, I want to go right to JJ because he said this was very disappointing at first, especially with Nero and probably V, because V is a very slow-paced character.
I loved V.
Yeah.
I loved playing as V. But I don't know, disappointing is not the right word. It was... My expectations were up here, and it should have been down here to start.
If we won't, we can't see the hand.
Well, when I say up here, it's up here, and then down here. You know, up and down.
Very,
My
very
expectations for the fighting or the combat was super high just from watching videos of other Devil May Cry games and then the trailers for this.
Well, the combat is there, but you gotta work for it. Like, it's not just gonna be...
You can't. Well, you have to... I guess it just wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting for fucking just button smashing happiness. God of War 1 and 2 kind of over the topness. And then it didn't start that way, but I'm telling you,
it's more of a technical game than that too, because you got to really unlock the combos. And like I said, I feel like Nero. I think we all agreed on this. I feel like Nero for sure felt really, like I felt like I was missing something for a long time. And then at the end, that's when it was like, oh shit, nice. And that's probably the twist you're probably talking about. That's probably a good twist. That was definitely, really a fun thing that happened as well, and it was kind of unexpected. I do want to talk about that. We'll get to that a little bit, but continue. Go ahead, JJ. I don't want to cut you off completely.
Well, I liked...
Because I respect your guys' opinion. This is also just our opinion, guys. I know. I'm probably going to overblow it a little bit, but this game means a lot to me. Like, the Devil May Cry series in general means a lot to me, but go ahead.
Well, the pacing of the game was great. Like when they changed. It seemed like when they changed characters, it served a purpose, obviously, for story, and it gave you, it kept you locked in because none of the characters played the same.
Yeah, they were all very different, like very, very different.
So, you had Nero where he seemed slower and more deliberate. You had V where you kind of you hung back because you couldn't really you had to use your
he's not a fighter, he's a lover.
Yeah, you had to do your apparitions to do damage or whatever. So then Dante's just balls to the wall, crazy. So.
Yeah, Dante's just so much fun in this game, and it's a really, like, I have to agree. I think it was a really nice pacing. All three characters are very unique, very, very much so. I really enjoyed. Side characters kind of got pushed to a side a little bit, but I really did I know a lot about them. That it's just cool to see them in this game. But I do like overall the three characters. What do you think, Steve? Overall about the combat, like what do you think?
The combat I actually did like. The combat for Nero I actually had no problems with.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, it felt a little awkward, to be honest, because when you're using the combos, it feels like that stupid cat's not hitting no one. I can't be the only one who noticed that, right?
I didn't have the biggest problem with V as much, but I do agree, coming from a more faster-paced style, especially if you're like Dante or something, because that's who we're used to from previous Devil May Cry games. He is a lot slower and deliberate, but they purposely did that. Like, they purposely did that. And once you unlock some of the combos for the Panther and Griffin and all them, like, it's like V becomes really good. Like, he becomes really fun to play, in my personal opinion. And I like I found it also very interesting that his enemies, his familiars couldn't kill anybody, so you still had to get close and use the cane to kill him, and I like that a lot. It was really interesting.
The thing that was kind of funny about some of the animals he had, he would usually just fucking launch the damn boat into an enemy just to ruin it. I thought that was fun.
yeah.
It's like, really? But the combat with Dante, that was actually pretty badass.
Yeah, it felt so right seeing Dante in this game, and I don't know if this takes place after 2. They make it seem like it is, or it's before 2. Because 2 is supposed to be the ending game, if you guys don't know from canon perspective. But we'll talk a little bit more about that game later. But as you can see, visually, the cutscenes are really good. Like the opening here with Nero and Nico, where she, women drivers, right, guys? Where she just rolls the fucking van, and he's just doing all this crazy, and that's Devil May Cry right there. You know, they didn't take it too seriously, and I love that for the fact that, you know, it's Devil May Cry. Like, it felt good, but I see both of your guys' perspectives for sure for the combat. Definitely my favorite for sure was Dante, but after you beat the game and you get the Devil Trigger and you get your Devil Breaker and you're power bombing people with Nero. So I was playing Buddy Palace a couple days ago on stream, and that shit was fun as hell with Nero. Like, Nero felt complete again. The only thing that got confusing with me for Nero is his Devil Trigger's up on the D-pad instead of L1. I kept hitting L1 and I kept, you know, breaking the Devil Breakers, and I'm like, shit, that's not what I wanted to do. So let's talk about that. It's a great segue. Did you like Nero's Devil Breakers? Because he used to have a Devil Bringer in Devil May Cry 4, which is Demon Arm, where he could pull people close to him and slam them and stuff. Obviously, we find out he gets that at the end of the game. But did you like the Devil Breakers, and which ones were some of your favorites? Let's start with JJ.
Obviously, I don't know anything about the story, so I just saw him get his arm ripped off. I just kind of had those things to start with. So.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the Devil Bringers in general. Like, did you like them? Because there's a lot of crazy ones. There's a punching one where you could ride like a skateboard.
Yeah, my favorite one was the one I found most useful is the ragtime, which slows down time and you can fuck things up in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That was the one I used the most. I don't know if it was my favorite, but
I hope Capcom eventually releases the Mega Man Buster that I can pick up, because that looks so good. Like, I was watching people doing some combos with that, and it was sick.
Yeah, I thought they were useful. I did a lot of accidentally hitting L1 as well.
Yeah, I didn't mean to explode. Did you guys like that you couldn't, like, you had to have a certain set, like, you couldn't just switch in between them when you want, you had to break the Devil Breaker. Did you guys like that? Because I personally kind of didn't, but I understand why they did it, because it was a strategy thing.
I didn't mind it, I guess. It was weird that they just gave you a loadout and you couldn't just bring all the ones you bought.
Yeah. Well, I meant, like, you couldn't switch them in between, like, Dante. Where Dante, you could switch between all his devil arms and everything.
Yep.
And, like, but you couldn't with Nero. Like, Nero, your Devil Bringer, you're wearing the one, and you had to break it to get to your next one. You couldn't just switch for your next one.
So it's called Devil Breaker, yeah.
But they had a lot of, you know, obviously, they had a lot of them around the stage to pick up. So, obviously, it was the design decision. What about you, Steve? What did you think of the Devil Bringers?
It was actually pretty cool, to be honest, because there was like different abilities you could do. But because JJ didn't play the fourth one, it was a little bit more different than what I was using when the fourth one had drift.
Yeah, it was. That was the missing part for sure, because you weren't able to use the Devil Bringer. You still could do the Scorpion though, like get over here. He had the, you know, you could bring people over and you could still combo. I liked the lightning one. That one was really fun. The Mach Punch one, that was one of my favorites. There was a drill one, I think, that kind of looked like a whip. I think it was a whip, actually. I liked that one a lot. It looked like a claw. It looked like a claw. I liked that one a lot. They were all pretty useful, in my opinion. There's definitely differences in between. So let's get into some of the characters, and I want to talk about the newest character in the whole series. She is completely new, and that's Nico. How'd you guys feel about Nico? Because I thought after watching the trailers I was gonna hate Nico, but I actually loved her. I thought she was hilariously funny, and she actually was a good part of the story. I actually enjoyed, especially the Michael Jackson Dante scene. I thought that was pretty hilarious. Where she made the hat for him, and he's like, "Oh, I'll take that." But if you guys don't know her lineage, her grandmother made Dante's guns, and she says it. She does say it in the story. But how'd you guys feel about Nico? Let's start with Steve.
Not bad, to be honest. I honestly did not think. What's what I'm thinking of? Did not know what to think of this person until they started talking about her more, or showing what she's supposed to do. She
Yeah.
seems like a great character, though. Just would I like to see a little bit more of a backstory with her.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that was her purpose was obviously just to be the gunsmith and, you know, make all the good shit. But her interactions with Nero were great. I love that she kind of just like kicked him in gear and like, for example, in the beginning of this stage right here that you guys are watching on screen, if you stand there, she'll honk the horn and be like, "Hey, start effing moving, like keep moving, like keep going," right? She's a really fun, and I just love how she is apparently the best driver in the world, apparently, because she can drive this van on buildings, and she comes out of nowhere, busts through walls and stuff. What'd you think of Nico, JJ?
Always lands it.
Yeah, she always seems to land it. She never crashes it. What'd you think of Nico?
Guess I wasn't the biggest fan. It was a game of It was a game where there wasn't really a lot of straight. There wasn't really a straight man. There's too much comic relief.
Yeah.
Where it seems like every character has to be have some kind of comic relief. But she's all right. She's basically there just to be the store. So
yeah, that's definitely her purpose for sure. Yeah.
So she's all right.
Especially when she almost killed the bud.
I mean, she does seem to land that van no matter how she falls or turns.
Which I don't see how it's possible for a human being to do, but it's really fun. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I really enjoy. I actually thought I wasn't gonna like her. I actually really enjoyed her. I thought she was really fun. So let's talk about V. So we talked about his combat style a little bit, but overall, what do you think of V as a character? The very little we got to see of him a little bit, because we only got to play as him like 2 or 3 times maybe. Let's start with JJ. What do you think of V?
I liked the character. He was mysterious, and we could read a book while you were fucking walking around to try to build shit up. It was weird. Definitely a weird character, but you know
he's tatted from head to toe for some reason.
Yeah. Again, a guy I've never played any other one, so it wasn't as obvious who he was to me.
Yeah.
I didn't know who the fuck it was. So that surprised me a little bit, but I get it. But I liked playing as V. It was he's definitely, I would say, a beginner character. Like he was the easiest character to get triple S's with.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
Couple buttons, and then you could stand back, hit a couple buttons, and not get hit. So it was pretty easy. But he was interesting for sure.
What about you, Steve? What'd you think of V?
The most evil person ever, to be honest. Plus, it was kind of obvious to know who it was because.
As a Devil May Cry fan, it is pretty blatantly obvious who V. I mean, his name's fucking V. Like it's V. Like it's fucking V. Like it's V. They didn't even try to hide it at all. It's V. But I like the twist, and basically this game is just fixing the timeline. Like it's just fixing 4 and fixing 2 apparently, and fixing 3. How 3 ended, which I'll explain to you guys.
The other thing that was... What's what I'm thinking of? Nope, I lost it. Never mind, continue.
To a fan, and there's a lot of stuff, because with Erzin too, I probably said his name wrong, but...
Probably, yeah.
But with him as well, where Dante's like, there's only one person I know that can take out those 2 ladies, taking out... Because he just hands everybody their ass. He just takes out Lady and Trish like they're nothing. And they're very powerful ladies in the Devil May Cry series, but it was cool to see that. And that was the first big hint. He goes jackpot to Erzin, which was a big hint because that's Dante's catchphrase, and his brother hates that. His brother hates when he says jackpot. So that was another big hint. A lot of people in my chat thought it was Mundus, which would have been an interesting, super, super interesting. If you guys don't know who Mundus is, he's the first big bad in Devil May Cry 1, all the way back in 2001. As you can hear my cousin Allie in the background there. super.
That was Max.
Or Max
beating the hell out of AJ Styles with a ladder right now.
Yeah, he's not crippled. Thanks.
Don't hurt him too bad, Max. He needs to wrestle Sunday. Yeah. But I think it was blatantly obvious that, you know, the twist, one of the twists anyway, was, you know, V and Erzin are two halves of Virgil. You know, like this is basically a game to bring Virgil back. You know, instead of have him written out dead in Devil May Cry 3. What'd you guys think of that? Were you guys super happy? Was it so blatantly obvious, Steve, that you still but you were still happy? Because I was very much happy. I was happy to see Virgil come back. Let's start with you, Steve. What'd you think of the big spoiler of, you know, V and Erzin being Virgil? What'd you think of it?
I thought it was kind of funny because somehow I kind of figured there was going to be Virgil again. Just did not expect that one twist, though. That's for one. And can I go ahead and talk about this part when he decided to take Nero's arm?
Yeah, of course. I just played that scene, so go ahead. I mean, it's a spoiler cast. Go ahead.
Dude, that was the most fucked up thing ever.
What?
Because
Steve, that's just his child. That's it.
Yep, it's just his child, and he didn't even fucking know.
It was just his child, and he needed his sword back, you know? He needed the Yamato back. Because
he said, like, hey, son, I'm going to need that arm back, so yoink, just fucking walked off.
Yeah, that was pretty cool scene, and then it was cool to have a nod to Kyrie as well. You heard her in the background. That's Nero's girlfriend from Devil May Cry 4. So she didn't make an actual public appearance, but you got to hear her on the phone a couple times or in the background. It was cool to see or hear from Kyrie. I would like to see her in this. But I really, it was like painfully obvious, but I was so happy at the same time. That's what I wanted. I wanted Virgil to be back, and I'll explain why I want, like, what my perfect Devil May Cry game will be towards the end of this spoiler cast. But that was what I really wanted to see Virgil back, because a lot, as you can tell, people never let Virgil go. You know, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they put Virgil in. Project X Zone 2, Virgil's in, you know, that as well, the crossover game. He's been in a lot of crossovers. People really love Virgil, the evil brother, the evil twin brother of Dante. It's really cool.
We'll just be honest. Virgil's like the most popular character of Devil May Cry ever. No one ever wants to see him go.
Yeah, no one wanted to see him go. Like this was the perfect way to bring him back, sorta. Like, and to connect the dots a little bit because of Devil May Cry 4, when Nero is able to use the Yamato. That's supposed to be a big hint, because Dante recognizes that right from the get-go, because that's his brother's sword. That was supposed to be the hint that they were, you know, that's his son, that's his sack child. But what do you think of that twist, JJ?
Dude, that one caught me off guard. That one was good. I was like, oh shit. And then Nero became like super badass. And
yeah, he was a little, he was really caught up with dead weight for a long time. Like, it took him a while to get through that.
One fucking word and he just shuts down.
Yeah, he became an emotional lesbian. I'm dead weight! I'm fucking dead weight! And I just love where Dante's like, he's your fucking dad! It's your fucking dad! I like how he just said that. And, you know, he just didn't want Nero to kill his dad. And I like what Nero chose at the end, which was the smarter thing, you know. But go ahead, continue, JJ. That was one of my favorite scenes there. It was just like, it's like your fucking dad, man. They curse a lot in this game for sure.
When your dad's ready to rip your arm off, or if your dad rips your arm off, I'd probably let my uncle kill him too.
Yeah, right?
Fuck that. Kill that bitch. Let me do it. I can't let you kill your dad, man.
Yeah.
You're already a little bitch. I can't let you do it. You're already brooding and, oh man.
You're an emotional lesbian.
Stop.
Nero, you gotta go. No! No! I'm not dead weight. But to be honest, man, it was good to see Nero back. Like, personally, it was really cool to see Johnny Young Bosch in the role. We knew about this game for a while. It was leaked for a while, and we were just waiting from E3 to E3. to finally see it unveiled, and it got unveiled last year's E3, which was really cool. And this was just a dream come true for us Devil May Cry fans, man. I've been waiting. Devil May Cry 4 was the first ever PlayStation 3 game I bought on my PS3. It was my second ever game. It was the first one I ever bought, and I still have it to this day. I bought the remaster special edition that added. Guess who they added in the special edition? Fucking Virgil in Devil May Cry 4, so you can play as Virgil. You know, so that was another big hint in that game too. I think that Virgil was coming back because there was a couple new cutscenes with him in that game. But I think it was a really good connecting the dots and twist for a lot of people. I'm sure that, you know, even though Steve and I probably knew it from the get-go, but for other people that are new to this series, because I know a lot of you were. I saw a lot of people streaming this, and it did really well, and it got reviewed really, really well. It was pretty cool to see Nero back, see the Virgil back as well. I don't think we're missing any other new characters or anything like that. What you guys thought of Lady and Trish, which they are like two of my favorite characters in the Devil May Cry series, and they kind of got the back seat on this one, but the game kind of ends with them going on a new mission, so I don't know if that's DLC. But what you guys think of that? Let's start with Steve.
It was great to see them both back.
Yeah, and they got their ass handed to them, and then they turned into a demon again?
Dude, that was kind of shocking, just to see that part.
Yeah, don't lie, you just wanted to look at their TNA, Steve. Clearly.
You know, that's what's kind of funny. They actually removed those scenes as of today.
Well, they removed the little censored flare so you can look at their ass.
Oh, they better. Shit.
Why
is this being censored? Why? This is fucking Devil May Cry. This should not be censored. Piece of shit.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I forgot to mention with the Urzen thing, because I thought it was kind of gonna go in a different direction, because they kind of do a little curveballs here and there, but then it kind of just it's simple as what you thought. It's like, okay, they're both Virgil. It makes sense now. Like, because it almost made it sound like it was Mundus for a little bit, and it's really interesting. Do you guys? Well, let me ask JJ about Lady and Trish really quick. What'd you think of the two femme fatales in this game? Which is, you know, again, they kind of got the short end of the stick in this one.
Yeah, don't know much about them. They didn't really register with me whether they're important or not. Well, I do have one question. Was Trish like a demon that was brought back to look like Dante and Virgil's mom, or what?
Yes, that's the storyline in the first game. So Mundus makes Trish to look like Dante's mom. And it's a little bit weird because a lot of fans want them to be together, but it's essentially kind of banging your mom.
His mom. Well, it's like banging the hottest version of your mom. Like, she never got old.
Yeah. Well, she's a demon. She can't get old. The thing about Lady, Lady's not a demon
either, so I'd get over it real quick.
Lady's not a demon. And she somehow seems to survive this whole massacre, and turning into a demon as well. So yeah, they are pretty important, but yeah, they kind of get the short end of it. What'd you think of their ending scene though, with those two going on a mission with Morrison? If you guys don't know who Morrison is, the guy that's always giving Dante's missions and stuff, he's from the anime. But they changed his race. He's a black guy in this. He was a white guy in the anime, but now he's a black guy in this one.
Nick Fury, baby.
They Nick Fury'd him. Yep, they Nick Fury'd his ass. But what'd you think of that ending? Like, do you think that's DLC for Trish and Lady because they go off on a new mission with Morrison? Like, what do you guys think? DLC or next game? What do you think?
Well, the way
I would say DLC.
Yeah, the way video game industry's going. People don't really give you everything. Games aren't complete anymore when you get them.
Especially fighting games. Steve and I were playing some Power Rangers last night, and it's an awesome game. We were having fun with it for sure. But it's a little bare bones.
Yes. There's only, 9 characters? I was really disappointed when I like, what? I only get 9, and then, what? The DLC is just, like, repackaged characters, like.
Well, the costume. There's
so,
more costumes they're adding, but they're adding 3 new characters. It's like anything going on with fighting games nowadays. It's going to be a lot better as the years go on. It's going to keep getting better.
Anyway.
But yeah, off tangent there. But you're right. Like DLC, I think that's a huge point. I think the ladies and Virgil or definitely will be put in Bloody Palace. They just added Bloody Palace a couple days ago for free. And what it is, it's 99 floors of waves of enemies with a time limit. But you can only play as the 3 characters right now, V, Dante, and Nero. But I think they'll definitely add those 3 characters. The reason why I say that is those 3 characters were in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition as playable characters, so I'm assuming they would be back.
And if I don't see you
Also, can we also admire Nico's... I think we all need to get together and get a tattoo of 2 guns going towards our crotch. I think we all should do that.
Oh yeah?
It's a big bonding experience.
My guns are gonna be real hairy.
I just love how the camera pans on that though. I was like, damn. I'm like, this is probably why I like Nico more now.
Teenagers, bro.
Yeah, teenagers, right? Well, it's an M-rated game for sure.
Teenagers and virgins like Levi.
Absolutely, bro. We're keeping the world going. I'm keeping Capcom in business, man. Keeping them in business, bro. I think you're right, both of you guys. I think there'll be DLC down the line. I think there'll be some more story DLC. I think Virgil is 1,000%, 100%. They already data mined the shit out of him in PC, so I think he's definitely gonna be some sort of story DLC or something in the game. I really enjoyed those ladies so much. They're some of my favorite characters in the Devil May Cry series, for sure. And I'll tell you why a little bit later. Let's get into we talked a good amount of the story, but let's get into some of the big moments in the story. We already talked about the twist of V and Nero being related, obviously. But what did you guys think of the ending? Like, what did you guys think of how it ended? And you know, Nero really grew up a little bit, but I feel like they left it off purposely for more of him, personally, I think. Which I'm not opposed for a game with Nero in it again, but I don't want a single game with Nero in it by himself. I don't want that. I feel like Devil May Cry is like God of War. And you can't have a God of War game without Kratos. I know the ending of God of War kind of hints that they might do it, but I don't think they can. I'm not saying you can't, because I will always support those games and those industries, because, you know, God of War and Devil May Cry, you know, the original God of War series and Devil May Cry series were some of the funnest action games I ever played when I was like, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like, they were some of the funnest games. I still have my PS2 versions of Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3. I got in the triple pack. I remember I got it for a birthday, as a birthday gift from my mom. I still have those 3 games, and those games still really stick out to me. Well, 1 and 3 do. 2 is a big piece of shit. That is a terrible game. It should be erased in the memory of Devil May Cry fans forever. But it's really interesting to see, you know, in an era of video games where there wasn't a lot of hack and slash at the time when Devil May Cry 1 came out. And Devil May Cry 1 was originally supposed to be Resident Evil 4, but it was so fudging different. It was so different from what it was that they're like, hey, we're just going to make this a new game. So Hideki Kamiya ends up making Devil May Cry, and it ended up being a really fantastic. It was a tough survival horror action game, but I feel like 3 really completed the process of Devil May Cry, just how the combat system is, because the combat is so tight, where 1, it's hard to play, but it's really interesting to hear stories of, you know, God of War being inspired by Devil May Cry, you know, the original Devil May Cry, and it was a real shame how Devil May Cry 2 became about, because Hideki Kamiya never got to work on that game. They secretly worked on that game without him, with a whole bunch of different people, and that's the reason why that game never really panned out. But obviously, Kamino is doing really well. He made the Bayonetta series, but he never got to continue the Devil May Cry series. When Itsuno took over from, to the end of 2 and 3, and when he got to do 3, you could really see the progression of the game getting a lot better. It got really, really good. I think 4 is pretty solid, but I would say Devil May Cry 5 is the best Devil May Cry game ever made. But my favorite still is Devil May Cry 3. Like, that story about a young punk-ass Dante where he didn't really give a fuck about the humans or the world, or he just wanted to eat pizza in the shop, kill demons, and do what he wanted. But that story between him and Lady, how they taught each other, the other side's not so bad. Being human, being demon is not so bad. Very powerful story. Absolutely love that game till this day. It's still my favorite one. And I kind of got off tangent there, but I just wanted to talk about how the series kind of got into it. But what you guys think of the ending, personally, of Devil May Cry 5? Did you like the boss fights? Did you like the mini boss fights of fighting the familiars and then going to fight Virgil and then how it ended? Let's start with JJ. What did you think of the ending of Devil May Cry 5? Did you expect it to end that way? Kind of like open-ended?
Yeah, kind of. Well, I guess I don't know. I don't know how the other games ended, but
there was a confirmed solution in other games. It's usually a happy ending. Yeah. Well, this was a happy ending too, but despite Virgil killing hundreds of thousands of people, I guess. But it's Demon Virgil, so it's okay, right? It doesn't matter, right?
And ripping arms off. I like that Virgil and Dante are just hanging out
in hell. Yeah, hanging out in hell
together, destroying people. I really, really, really liked the way Nero's story ended. And I wish games would do this more, where while the end credits are rolling, you are still playing. Cool.
That's a Devil May Cry staple. They always do that in all the games you'd play. Usually, you get a secret ending if you kill enough, but they just gave you the secret ending in this one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It suckered me in. I'll play the next one for sure.
It's games like these guys, it really just warms my heart. I never thought I'd see God of War and DMC still continue. God of War went in a completely different direction, but I absolutely respect what Corey and them did. Obviously, they won Game of the Year. It was pretty much unanimous on the channel, except for Steve, who Red Dead 2 was his Game of the Year.
So it is written.
But these games mean a lot to me. These hack and slash games, these games, these over-the-top crazy action games. They're really fun. They're really amazing, and it's cool to see them kind of still kicking, because there was a time where I was really concerned that these games were going away. Like I said, it took 10 years for this game to come back around, and it seems like Capcom is on the upswing. They've got a lot of goodwill going because of RE2 and Devil May Cry 5. But what did you think of the ending of Devil May Cry 5, Steve? I'm sorry.
It was actually not bad. They kind of left it open for a sequel.
Well, of course, you know they were going to do that. They're going to keep milking the horse. Or cow.
It's the cow, pretty much. But I just thought it was pretty funny that they didn't even open...
Don't milk the horse, Chad!
Yeah, there's only one way to milk it, and you don't want to know that one.
No.
Just say
I'm Kenny Rogers, and welcome to Jackass!
But yeah, the ending was actually pretty good. I like the way it ended. And I think it is kind of cool that they have to open for a sequel if they decide to do a 6.
It's just so interesting. Are you guys okay with them forgiving Virgil nothing happened? Is it okay? Is it cool?
No. Honestly not, because if those two are in hell still, they're going to try to find a way to kill each other, one way or another.
Well, really, they were having a lot of fun because they said their patent jackpot line. Well, Virgil's don't say it, and he fucking says it anyway. And I love that. I liked it too. Like you said, that was a big growth for Nero because he grows his arm back. He gets his devil trigger finally, which was always one thing I hated in Devil May Cry 4. His devil trigger was terrible. It was basically just a ghostly there was just a phantom that was behind him that would use the Yamato to slice and stuff. And I never liked it. I'm like, okay, I thought he's part demon. I thought he would have like a demon form like Dante. Because the new demon forms for Dante and Virgil are fucking awesome. Like, I don't know if you actually guys used it. It's literally only about like 6 seconds, but you can kill basically anything with it. The Sin Devil Trigger was super fun. I don't know if you guys actually used it. I used it on stream a few times. Very, very fun.
Dude,
go ahead.
On. We all used the triggers. We all did.
No, I'm sure, but did you guys use the upgraded version, like the Sin Devil Trigger that they try to teach you, where you have to hold it down a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I really liked that a lot, where he had that cool, more demonic form with like the 6 wings and stuff. It was really interesting.
Dude, the only thing that was not so forgiving was pretty much the combat, because it took a toll on my hands. So fucking bad. It was cramping.
Yeah, when you play on the experience difficulty like Steve and I did, it definitely picks up at the end. It gets harder. That Virgil fight at the end gave me so many chills though, because it is basically the same fight with him in Devil May Cry 3 and how that game ends. And that game obviously ends pretty tragically, obviously, because Dante loses his brother, and Lady was actually the one that gave him the name for his shop. Devil May Cry. That's his shop. He runs his shop. It's always going out of business, it seems, because there's never power in it or anything. Just pizza lying around everywhere because he eats pizza every day, which I don't know if that's healthy for demons. I guess to eat pizza every day, but
he's probably got a crazy metabolism.
Yeah, probably. It's really interesting because they made Dante seem like he can age a little bit as a demon. I know he's only half, but he kind of had a little bit of a beard now and stuff like that. I thought he looked pretty good. They used the actual realistic faces. The only face I didn't like was Trish's, but that's how the model looks. She looks exactly like that. She has, that type of nose. I just kind of prefer Trish from the previous game, especially 4. Like, Trish's design in 4. And that's another thing I want, is more costumes in this game. Like RE2, I want more costumes. I want like the Devil May Cry 4 costumes and stuff like that. I think that would be really, really fun to have in the game. Or Devil May Cry 3, Devil May Cry 2, even Devil May Cry 2 if you want to tie that one in there. But I thought the ending was really cool. I thought how Nero transformed his Devil Trigger, and he was like, "I'm not gonna let my family die. I'm gonna stop this here." And then Nero gets all the power and gets to kick the shit out of his dad a little bit, which is pretty cool. I like that moment. I know some true Devil May Cry fans didn't like that moment because they like Dante more. And I don't want a Nero game by himself, but I'm okay if Virgil and Dante are still hanging around. But go ahead, JJ. Were you gonna say something?
No, there's Steve.
Oh, you were gonna say something, Steve? Go ahead.
Wow.
I just thought it was funny when he tried to stop the both of them. He actually punched fucking Dante in the face.
Yeah. It's really interesting that his Devil Trigger is so different. It's very interesting looking. He gets like 2 hands on the top of his shoulders, and he looks like a demon, but he doesn't look anything like his dad per se. Devil Trigger. So
too. He was trying to tell him there was no more killing, and Dante's like, "Almost killing? You almost took me out."
Yeah. That was a really fun scene, and I really enjoyed that moment. And I don't know if it was Kyrie that gave him the confidence, or him just realizing, I don't want my family to die. That was just a really cool moment. Kind of a cheesy cop-out moment, where he grows his hand back magically, and he transforms and stops all of a sudden he's super powerful, and he can stop 2 of the most badass demons ever in the history of mankind. The Sons of Sparta, the Devil King himself, But it makes sense. I know he's a quarter blood demon, but it was cool. It was really fun. And I really enjoyed it. They left it wide open, like I said, with Trish and Lady going off on an adventure. Dante and Virgil in the demon world fighting. So I think they're going to bring Mundus back. That's my best guess for Devil May Cry 1. And then it looks like Nero's keeping the shop alive. He's keeping the business going. Because it seems like demons are still roaming around towards the end. They still showed that. There's still demons hanging out. And it's really, really fun. Let's talk about Let's talk about, is this a Game of the Year contender for you guys? Would you nominate this Game of the Year, or at least nominate it, not saying win it? And what would be your Game of the Year nominee at this point? I know we're about a quarter in to the year. There's been a lot of fantastic games we played on this channel and did Spoilercast on. You know, we did RE2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Devil May Cry 5 we're doing right now. We did, which one else are we missing? I know we did another one.
What game you're playing now?
We're playing Sekiro right now. We didn't do the Spoilercast for that, but and we probably won't. We probably won't do a Spoilercast for Sekiro. What was another one we played? We played a lot of games this year already. There's been a lot of fantastic games. That was the point I was trying to make anyway. I don't want to leave anything out, but would you guys, you know, consider this a Game of the Year nominee? Anyway, let's start with Steve. What do you think, man?
Yes. For nominee? Definitely yes.
What would be your vote for Game of the Year right now at this point? Quarter in. You know, because Borderlands 3 is yet to come out. It's coming out September. There's a lot of other games. Days Gone, Mortal Kombat 11 is coming out this month. We're going to be playing. There's a possibility of Last of Us Part 2, but forget about those. Just this quarter, the games we played right now, the games that are out right now. What would be your Game of the Year, Steve?
Without bringing out the new ones that are coming?
Yeah, without the new ones, just right now, out of the games you played, like RE2, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, you know, Sekiro, whatever.
To be honest, I think it might be up to the 2 Capcom games.
Okay. Well, which one would you give it to? Would you give it to RE2 or would you give it to 5? They both can't share the trophy, but which one would you give to? Right now, this speaking. I know it's a tough decision.
I know what you
It is a tough decision, but I guess I would have to pick Resident Evil 2. Because it is a fresh remake.
Yep, okay.
They actually did a fantastic job.
JJ, what would you consider this a Game of the Year nominee, and what would you give Game of the Year right now?
I think, well, as of right now, I'd have to consider it for Game of the Year. I don't think it'll be in the. I don't think at the end of the year. I don't think it'll be nominated. But as of right now, yes.
Okay.
RE2 is my favorite game so far this year. It was so good.
Yeah, it was.
It was so good. It was so much fun.
It was. I'm kind of with you guys. I love this game so much. I think this will be nominated, and I think it will be at the end of the year because they tend to have. I guess last year they had 6 nominees. It'll be in the top 6. I think Devil May Cry for sure. Maybe we'll see. I mean, if Ghosts come out and Last of Us Part 2, I think that's top 6. It depends on Borderlands 3 how well that's received. I think. You know,
I really hope Borderlands 3 is going to be good. I really hope so.
It looks pretty damn good. We're pretty excited, and I was right that it was going to be this year. You know, and pretty soon, September. And we don't know how Rages is going to be yet either. You know, we're going to play that on this channel as well. So that's going to be a very similar game to, you know, Borderlands 3. So I wonder how. And then we don't even know all the other games that are announced, so it's going to be a tough competition. So I can see why JJ would leave it outside. I still think it will be, but I'm with you guys. I would give it to RE2. I would give it to RE2 Remake. As of right now, that would be my Game of the Year. I think Sekiro would be a close second. I think Devil May Cry 5 would be third. Kingdom Hearts would be left off for me.
Yeah, probably would.
Far Cry New Dawn would be left off for me. And did we play anything else so far? I think that's it. But those will probably be my top 3 right now. Would be, you know, not to hurt the Kingdom Hearts fans and Chad in particular. But I would leave Kingdom Hearts out. That definitely by the end of the year will not be on. So there's too many better games coming out, in my personal opinion. Where even though you might have never played Devil May Cry before, at least you can kind of follow this story and see how this goes.
Well, it's fun. It's a damn good game. And I'm not hating on it by saying what I'm saying. I'm just, you know, if Last of Us 2 comes out, if Ghost of Tsushima comes out, I Borderlands 3, Days Gone. There's gonna be a lot of good games. This game might make the cut, but.
Well, I don't think Days Gone's gonna make the cut. I think a lot of people fell out because you got to think about the other side too. It's kind of a what's it called, media darling type thing too, where they like how Celeste got nominated. It got a hard push because of critics and stuff like that, and that's the same thing with Sekiro. Sekiro is a media darling. This is a media darling. So is RE2. Like RE2 has the highest Metacritic out of all of those games, which is kind of crazy. Or it might have dropped, like, RE2 and Sekiro are both 90 Metacritic, where Devil May Cry 5 is 87. But, before you say that's not good enough, Horizon Zero Dawn and Amazing Spider-Man, or Spider-Man, the PS4 game, both had an 87 Metacritic, and both got nominated for Game of the Year. So, I mean, it's there's the other side to the push, but you're right, there's a shit ton of games, there's so many games, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on Days Gone, JJ, and I think that game's going to do a lot better than people think. I bet that game sells 2 million on opening week, I think.
Well, you did forget about one game. You did forget about Death Stranding. Because who knows when that's coming out. Could be this year, could be next year with PS5.
I don't think it's this year anymore. I thought it was because Norman Reedus finished all the scenes, but Kojima said a lot of stuff, and then the PlayStation Store is kind of pushing Last of Us Part 2. So I think that's good, and I think Ghost is done. A lot of people... Chad was talking to me off stream, and he was like, I don't like... If Ghost and Last of Us and all those games had a release date, why wouldn't they be at E3? It's because they don't need to do that anymore. The same thing with God of War. Like a month before they announced God of War's release date. So Sony knows what to do with release dates. They kind of stumbled with Days Gone. They kind of pushed it back a few times, and I think that's fallen out of favor with the public a little bit. But after watching that State of Play trailer, with all you guys and JJ and I talking about it with Chad on stream, like, that sold the game 1,000% for me. It looks so good. It looks so good. We'll see how it plays and how it handles and how it runs. But I think that game does a lot better than people think. A lot of people think it's being sent out to die. And I don't think so. I don't get that feeling from that. I don't know if you get that feeling. Do you get that feeling, guys?
It looks good, but the zombie thing is kind of starting to run its course a little bit. It's still popular. RE2 proved it's popular, but I think RE2 had a lot more cachet. People know that.
Yeah, a lot of people really love the original one, including myself.
Yeah.
That's why Capcom's on like God tier. Like I'm praying to them every day for Dino Crisis.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens.
But go ahead, continue. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Well, to me, it looks fun. We'll see. I'm anxious to see it. I'm anxious
to see it. I see what people are saying about zombie things. The thing is, they're not zombies. They're like living creatures in Days Gone. But a lot of people just want to call them zombies. But I understand. Like they look like that, so people are gonna call it like that, right?
Oh yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
At first glance, it kind of looks like
Last of Us.
A douchebag's version of Last of Us.
Yeah, a biker douchebag's version of Last. Yeah, I think that's an unfair comparison, though. I see the vibe.
Exactly, but it kind of has just outside looking in. It looks like you got this dude with a backwards hat on a motorcycle. Put him in the Last of Us world, but the trailer, the State of Play trailer looked awesome, and we'll see. I've been fooled by trailers before. I try not to watch them, but
yeah, you're not a big trailer guy, and I kind of am too. But I do like watching a couple trailers though, because it gives you a nice taste of the game, unless you really know you want it. But we really like Sony exclusives on the channel here. What do you think, Steve? How do you feel about Days Gone? Are you interested at all? I know this is a spoiler cast, but I like asking you guys really quick.
I don't know. When they first announced it, it didn't look all that impressive. But with the new trailer, it does look good. But for this one coming, it is going to be World War Z and Days Gone, so that's going to be kind of tough.
Yeah. Well, I
Because
also
the
think
book
Sony
has
gets a
zombies.
bad, like, I've seen some people say this about Sony as well, is that all their games are just third-person over-the-shoulder games, story-driven, and I'm like, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong. They're not the same, but they're getting that reputation that they're the same, and I'm like, that's completely wrong. That's a dumb thing to even say. You know that.
Well, for the people who don't like the story-driven one-player games, I ask those people, do you enjoy watching television? Do you binge watch a TV show? Because that's all these games are, is the most intimate version of that. Like, you're actually playing these characters.
Yeah, it's the most interactive experience you can ever have.
You're going through, and it's. I tell people at work that I don't watch as much TV anymore because I'll sit down and I'll play God of War, or I'll play a game with a good story that grips you. You don't want to, Devil May Cry doesn't have the best story, but as I got into it more.
I agree for sure. It's not.
I played. I wanted to see where it was going. I mean, you know what? Those are the games that I usually fit. Like Sekiro, I'm having a hard time because the story's not really gripping me. The gameplay is fun, and it's a. I see why it's getting all these great ratings. But it is hard, and you guys been reading this too, where people on the internet want like an easy mode and all that shit.
Yeah, I call those people pussies. Yeah, that's what I call those people.
Not only are you pussies, but don't play the game. You know what you're signing up for. It's a From Software game. You know it's going to be hard. Don't complain about it. Just stop playing it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good game. Then fucking play it.
And get better at it. The thing about those games, though, they have a bad rap of being, quote-unquote, quotation, I'm doing air quotes, too hard. The game, everything is a lesson to you. They're teaching you how to play the game right from the get-go. That first whole opening area of Sekiro is teaching you that aggression is very good. That first mini-boss, be aggressive as shit. As soon as you back off, you're dead. One swipe, he kills you, right? Boom. But as soon as you stay on his ass, be aggressive, you kill him. You get the dub. And that teaches you that aggression is very important in that game. Deflection's big in that game. But I understand the fans, though, a little bit, too, because playing Dark Souls right now and playing, Bloodborne, we have a tendency to evade. That's our thing. We have to, that's what we're used to for all these years of playing From Soft games, where Sekiro is not like that at all. It's about being balls to the wall and being aggressive as fuck. And you're rewarded for it. But continue, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off on tangent there.
Can you meet me over here?
No, I'm going off on a tangent too. I'm just, it's the PlayStation exclusive story mode.
Yep.
It's why the PlayStation won this generation.
Yeah. And it's why it's going to have a really good start to their next generation too, because I strongly believe they're going to bring 2 or 3 heavy hitters right out the get-go.
Well, I have a feeling that
there was
Last of
one particular game you did forget, since you were mentioning Dark Souls and Bloodborne and the Paradigm twice. You actually forgot about Nero.
You mean Neo? Nero is from Devil May Cry, sir. He doesn't have his own From Soft game.
You know what
Not
I mean.
yet, anyway.
But you did remember, that game did get a sequel too, right?
It's coming out, I think, this year. But yeah, you're right. Year of the Ninja. We just need Ninja Gaiden 4, man. It'll be Year of the Ninja.
I feel like the people I feel like the people complaining about Sekiro aren't people like I played the beginning of Bloodborne. I've never played a Dark Souls. I've never played what is it called, Demon Souls. I've never played it from and
I must destroy.
the game is hard, but I'm not gonna sit here and blame the developer. I bought the fucking it's what you sign up for.
Yeah, it's tough for people. I just understand it. Like, if you're not used to hell, it's hard. Like, a lot of people are not. I know you played on the easier difficulty, Devil May Cry, and you cruise, but a lot of us played on the experience version, and it gets hard at the end, and it's fun. It's really fun.
I can see it getting hard. I mean, I played on I played on like the default or whatever.
Yeah.
And that Virgil, I can't imagine how hard that Virgil battle is with just the next step up. Because I only died once, but again, I was playing on easier than you guys are. But I can see where that could get ramped up real quick.
Yeah, yeah. And it was like I said, that battle gave me so many chills because it's just like how 3 played out. It was just a beautiful moment. And I like the crazy over-top action of Devil May Cry. And that's what I like about this game is that it's true to itself. It didn't try to be so serious that it's like, you know, it's not Devil May Cry. You know, it's Devil May Cry. It's over-the-top, funny, campy bullshit. You know, BS cliche endings, but I like it. I enjoy this series. I love this series. I've rewatched the anime a couple times since I played this game, and I had a lot of fun because they connected the anime to this, and they're getting a new anime series. Steve and I were talking about, but it's really interesting. I hear what you say for sure about Sekiro, and I understand. Like I understand both sides. I don't always try to look at my side of the argument. I always try to look in the middle and see both sides and see how people react. But I do like people that are saying an easy mode. I do call you a pussy though. I'm not gonna be nice. I'm gonna be a dickhead about that. Like JJ said, you signed up for that game. You knew that game was hard, and it was funny to see people talking about that. Like, oh, does this game have a hard mode? I'm cruising through it, and then all of a sudden it gets hard, and they're like, oh crap,
I think people will look like you just look at the homepage of the PlayStation Store and Sekiro 9.5, 95, 9 out of 10, 99, 100.
Yep.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try it, and then
it whoops your ass.
Yeah,
and then you die 13 times in a row from one boss, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, and you spread your dragon AIDS on everybody.
Yeah, and everyone's coughing.
Everyone's dying because of your dragon AIDS.
We got dragon pneumonia.
It's really good. So this is what I want to talk about because we'll wrap up pretty soon. Since it's been remake season, I think this is a really good chance of remaking Devil May Cry 1 and 2. I think they have a really good chance of doing it. Obviously, all the remakes and all the Capcom games probably from here on out, like RE3 remake and RE8, are probably all going to be PS5 games. We all expect PS5 to be announced sometime this year, right? Coming out sometime next year. But it seems like the writing is on the wall of the PS4. As much as I love the system, I do think it's going to be backwards compatible, and I really think for people that just played this game and really want to experience 1, they do have the HD collection of 1, 2, and 3, but you might not like 1 and 2 because 2's boring, and then 1 1 is it's a little different. It's not like how 3 is, and then when you play 3 plays like this game, and it feels good and feels comfortable, and it's the perfect way to get into Devil May Cry. And another fight that gave me chills was the Cerebus fight, and they mentioned the Cerebus fight because you fight a Cerebus in Devil May Cry 3, and they had it on it was just, this game was just a big fucking love letter to us, just us Devil May Cry fans. I'm just so happy to have this. I think the reason why I say they would do a remake of 2 is because they could do it like Devil May Cry, Resident Evil 2, but instead of pay homage and respect to RE2, they can go balls to the wall with Devil May Cry 2. They can actually make the game they intended to make from the get-go and erase that awful game and actually make a really good, comprehensive Devil May Cry game. Because that was supposed to be the end. That was supposed to be it. There was supposed to be no more Devil May Cries. And then it started going on, and then 3 changed it forever with the story-drivenness, the combat system, how the combat system is with the devil arms, how you can switch. My favorites were Swordmaster and Gunslinger. Those are always my favorite too. I need to get better at Royal Guard because Royal Guard's OP, and then the quick one, the Doppelganger or something, where you run fast. That one's really, or Dodge Quick. I forgot what that one's called. I didn't use rewatching my Virgil fight, I didn't use any Royal Guard in any of those. I only used Swordmaster and pretty much gun, you know, the Gunmaster. Those are the two I loved the most. Those were my favorite from Dante. And there's technically kind of a secret ending a little bit in this game. If you replay the game with Nero, you can kill Urzin, and the game just ends. It's over. Because that was a pretty tough boss fight from the get-go, because you don't have anything, you're not leveled up, you're missing an arm, right? But when you have everything at your disposal, it's a lot easier to beat them. Actually, you still might not have your Devil Bringer, so you might not have your arm, actually, still, but it's a funnier fight. I don't, like... It's not really a cutscene or anything. They just say happy ending with a postcard. It's just like it's a little Easter egg is what it is. But what do you guys think? Like, do you think it's a possibility with? Because I think RE2 remake set the bar on how you do a remake. Like that felt so new that it needs to be nominated for Game of the Year, and a lot of people are pushing for it, right? We were all talking about it, like it deserves. We talked about it in the Spoilercast that it needs to be nominated for Game of the Year because it's new. It's not. It doesn't play anything like the old game at all. It's mostly different. Most of all the scenarios, how it's set up, like basically the setting is the same, and that's about it. But go ahead, JJ.
Do I think. I don't know if RE2 set the bar for how to do a remake, but it definitely raised it. It raised the bar for sure, because I think Toys for Bob did a great job with Crash and Spyro.
Yeah.
But this definitely raised.
To be fair with those ones, not to hate for Toys for Bob and the other one that did the Spyro one, because those were great, but those were shot for shot exactly the same.
It played one. Crash Bandicoot 1 definitely plays different.
I agree with that. The game's handled differently for sure, but what I meant is, if you play RE2, the original, and RE2 remake, they are so different. They're so different.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, it raised the bar. I don't know if another remake will ever match what they did. Because it is.
Well, that's what I meant. It set the bar. It's there. Like, can anyone achieve that?
It raised there. Again, you're misusing the phrase. But no, I don't know if anybody will achieve that. I think it will be the only time. I honestly think it'll win Game of the Year. I think it is the only time a remake will ever.
Even if The Last of Us Part 2 comes out, I don't know.
It's that good, man. And I think Last of Us 2 is gonna just miss. It'll be next year's Game of the Year. Because I think that's PlayStation 4's. That's their going out with a bang. Last of Us, the first one was PlayStation 3's.
Yep, going out with a bang. Yep, that was the swan song. That was the end.
Yeah, I think Last of Us 2 is going to be that last major game for PS4, and it's going to come out after the deadline for games. You're probably going to see like a November release.
Okay, interesting. What is it? Wasn't it leaked for something else on the PlayStation Store though? Oh no, it just said 2019, right?
Well, it was that, and then the Borderlands 3 got leaked.
Yeah, that leaked pretty early.
Yeah,
September 15th.
Out. Yeah, and then it came out the next day or whatever.
Yep.
So, but yeah, RE2 it's my favorite game of the year so far. And
but imagine what they did for that, and doing it for 1 and 2 for Devil. I think they could. I think they will actually probably.
See, you're asking for
everything to be remade, right?
No. Well, you do. I'm with you. I want my childhood games to be better, where I can go back and play them. It's tough to. You know, I got my PS2 sitting right here, and it's tough to put games in there sometimes. You're like, wow. It's good. Don't get me wrong; those games were revolutionary at the time. But after playing an RE2 or the way Devil May Cry, even Far Cry New Dawn, just turn that on, man. That game looks beautiful. It might not be your favorite game. It might not be that good of a game, but man, it's beautiful. Then try turning on Far Cry 1. Go back and playing that on the original. It's wow. Come a long way. So,
yeah, absolutely. But I think there's money to be made because that's the #1 rule about video games, right? It's about money.
Oh, well, our generation, me, you, Steve's, Chad's, all us guys in our, mid-20s to early 30s are all still playing video games. You know, the generation before us stopped. You know, it was a child's thing.
Yeah.
Where we kept going, and that's why these remakes do so well.
Yeah. But it also brings a lot of new people in, though. A lot of new people played RE2 remake.
Yeah, it will for sure. It will, but they make
go
as
on,
much
yeah,
money as they
I'll let
do
you
right
finish.
away.
I'm sorry.
Well, they make as much money as they do right away is because of nostalgia, and then add on to that they made one of the best games of all time in a remake. You know, where like we talked about, where it's true to the original RE2, but it handles so much differently, and the scenes are some scenes are kind of, they want to throw you off, right? So
it's altered a lot. It is a different game.
It's a different game, and I think that's what you want with Devil May Cry 2. Not 3, not 1, but 2. You want it to be a different game.
Yeah, I think it needs to be fixed. Like, and these like the love and respect they did for RE2, I could see them doing for other games, and I think they're going to. They're making money. They're already working on 3. That's the worst kept secret in video game history. They're working on that. So I mean, they're probably working
that's coming
on
out
other.
Before 8, right?
And they're doing it before 8. Yeah, because 2 and 3 are tied pretty close together. Like it's the same city.
That engine they developed is amazing.
Yeah,
and the engine is really, really good.
I think there's a high possibility of it. And the reason why I keep bringing Dino Crisis is because Capcom themselves said it. They're like, hey, if you guys want it, we'll fucking do it. So they're probably fucking doing it. Like, they're probably fucking doing it. Capcom's not a small studio by any means. They're a very big company. They make a shit ton of money. They make a shit ton of games every year.
They made a bunch of money this year already.
Yeah, they're making a ton of money with these 2 games already. What do you think, Steve? Would you be interested, like, you didn't really answer my question. Like, you interested in playing those if they ever did it? Like, if they did 1 and 2?
You never asked me that question until now.
Well, I'm going to ask you, but I meant JJ. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Me? Would I be interested?
Yeah, would you be interested if they like remade 1 and 2? Like would you be like, yeah, hell yeah, jump in? Because 1 doesn't play like 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5 play very similarly, where 1 is pretty, archaic by this time, 2000. But like I said, it was an influential game for a lot of hack and slash games. Like even God of War, your favorite series, was inspired by that, and they made a great hack and slash game after that. I actually played God of War before Devil May Cry. I bought the Devil May Cry trilogy when it was like on sale in the big package for my birthday, like I said, and that's when I got into it. It was after God of War, because I bought God of War 1 for cheap for like $20 in the Walmart bin when Walmart used to throw a bunch of games away for like $20, $15.
Yes, Shadow of the Colossus and God of War.
Yep.
But God of War was made on the fact that the people in the East said the West couldn't make hack and slash games, and they were trying to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And that's how Devil May Cry inspired God of War.
Well, they did for real. Like, if you listen to some of the Santa Monica, Santa Monica for sure was.
We can make a hack and slash game.
Yeah.
But they enjoyed the game too. I'm not saying they didn't, but it was.
Yeah, well, they loved Devil May Cry. A lot of them played that game and really enjoyed it because it was so different at the time. It wasn't anything like that before. Then God of War kind of changed the game up with the bigger boss battles, and that's when Devil May Cry 4 kind of got inspired by God of War, because the ending battle in Devil May Cry 4 is a giant fucking boss battle, like a huge deity you fight, which is totally God of War. And that's why like Devil May Cry 4 kind of got knocked, because it wasn't pushing anything. Where they did. Like, Devil May Cry 5 pushed the series further. Like, a lot of people love this game. It's going great, but I think there's a high probability, and I think a lot of you guys would be interested. What do you think, Steve? Would you want, like, you think remakes are going to be a new thing, and do you think, would you play 1 and 2 remade?
Choose an actually good remake and change little things, yeah, I'll definitely play it. Especially if you said 2 was not that great.
It's the black sheep of the reason why is, like I said, like Hideki Kamiya never got to work on it. He didn't even know the game was being worked on. They were having trouble making it. That's why the game feels so different than anything. Like it doesn't. It's just weird. It's very, very strange. Like, and I played a good majority of it. I never beat 2 because I just never like. It was just the enemies weren't as interesting. It was the combos weren't as fun. Where 3, the combos were insane and it was super fun and it was a tough ass game. It was super hard. And the 4 kind of made it a little bit easier, but 5 brought the hardness back. Even though if you played on the easier difficulty, it's still a pretty easy Devil May Cry game. But it does get harder. And the thing about the Devil May Cry's difficulty, Devil May Cry, the intent to play the game, it's one of the hardest games to platinum. And the intent for the game isn't to just beat it and put it down. You're supposed to keep going. Because the harder difficulties add newer enemies. They handle differently. They don't fight the same. It's harder to get your S ranks. You have to really fully harness how the game plays and get the best of the combos. I've seen some insane shit. I was watching some people play Bloody Palace and I'm like, damn, I am nowhere near as good as some of these people and some of these sick ass combos they're doing. I still need to unlock some stuff and I want to go back and play the game again, but the game doesn't baby you with Devil May Cry 5 in the sense with the trophy. The trophies, like, if you beat it on, like, for example, if Steve and I beat it on experience, we didn't get the easy trophy. So we still have to play it on the easy difficulty to get all the way through, all 20 levels, to get to get that trophy. And then you got to do the same thing with hard, then heaven and hell, Dante Must Die mode, you know, hell and hell mode. Like, there's, like, so many, like, the same difficulties.
You forgot Sons of Sparta.
Sons of Sparta mode. Like, they have a shit ton. Like, there's so many. Like, it's just, what I meant is just there's a lot to the game. The game's intended to keep playing and keep getting better and being a master of combos. But obviously, we all have lives. There's so many new games coming out. We're trying to keep the channel growing. We're trying to play as many new things as possible. And we're having a lot of fun with it. I'm having so much fun streaming all these games with you guys and talking to, you know, some of the coolest people I know, with JJ and Steve. But let's end it on this.
To finish that question,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I didn't finish. Remakes are actually pretty good because you saw what he did with Shadow of the Colossus. You saw what he did with the remakes of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, which, mind you, Crash Bandicoot was done by Vicarious Vision.
Yeah, it was. It was a different company.
Yeah,
right.
So that was the thing that was kind of interesting because with Spyro, they
Toys
actually
for
used
Bob.
the Unreal Engine.
Actually, in Canada, it's Toys for Jeffrey. True story.
No. Wow. Probably would be true if you didn't make it up. Motherfucker. But yeah, all the remakes they're doing now is actually very impressive. And if they keep this going, it might actually look like a brand new game that's never been made before.
Yeah, I mean, they were beautiful. Like, all those... Obviously, you guys saw us play and platinum all 3 Spyro games on this channel. It was super, super fun to relive my childhood. Because I still play the PS1 games. I still have the PS1 games. I'm looking at them right now. Like, I have a lot of fond memories with these games. The thing about RE2 and what JJ was saying is that they set the bar. They changed what it was because it wasn't shot for shot the same. It's a completely different game where like literally every line in Spyro, every line in Crash are the same from the original games. Every single line, right from the get-go, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love that. That was great. Crash got harder a lot harder, but it was always kind of a tough game. But it did get a little bit harder, and people I know didn't like. I mean, there's a lot of Crash Bandicoot rage on the internet, which is super funny.
Was the hardest.
Yeah, it's not
the first one.
It's not easy. It was a tough game for sure. I was playing at JJ's house, and I'm like, shit, man, I used to be good.
It does make you question like edge.
Yeah.
Where
Spyro was super easy. Spyro, you could fall asleep, but I loved it. You know, I have a lot of fun memories.
Was I way better at video games as a kid? Is what Crash Bandicoot made you.
Yeah. Did I suck? Did I suck? Because video games were a lot harder when we were growing up. Those NES and Super NES games, they were tough, man. Those Donkey Kong Countries, Ninja Gaidens. Your fingers hurt.
Country.
It was.
Oh my God, Dante's hot mom in her robe.
Oh god. That's the other thing too. The one remake I still want to see from this day. Metal Gear Solid.
Well, there's a lot of rumors because the guys that did Shadow of the Colossus remake are doing another remake, and it says it's the biggest one ever, and a lot of people are thinking it's Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't know where the hell the Metal Gear Solid 1 came from, but if anyone could do it, it's Blue Point. Blue Point, every remake they've done has been so fantastic, and at the time, they set the bar for remakes, but then RE2 just is a game changer. They raised it completely. I don't, like JJ said, I don't know if anyone could... Capcom, I think they can outdo themselves. I'm looking super forward to RE3. Like, RE3, 2 and 3 are my favorite of the RE series. A lot of people, it's RE4. One thing I want to mention before we go to our final thought is, one thing I love about the anime, and they connected it here with not just Morrison, but that phone call with Patty, that scene that was super quick when the lights come on and he's supposed to go to her birthday party, and she's like, "Oh, I'm 18 now." What that was referencing is Patty's a little girl in the anime, and Dante is basically babysitting her and saving her from like all these demons and stuff. And he makes a joke to her, is that, well, maybe if you be nice, maybe like 10 years from now I'll take you on a date or something. And she goes as if, you know, she shrugs off. She goes, as if I like younger guys or whatever. And she pointed out all his bad habits, you know, how he eats pizza every day and how he just lays around in the shop reading, like, you know, gun magazines and, you know, booby magazines and shit like that. Not for what the children. And one thing I love about this game too is how violent it was. There was a lot of blood. I like how the enemies were very creepy. It had a lot of horror elements back from like Devil May Cry 3, where 4 was kind of goofy a little bit, where they had jesters and stuff like that. Even though like 4 has a special place in my heart. Like I said, it's the second PS3 game I ever had, but the first one I ever bought, and I played that game religiously. So many summer nights, man.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'll be right back. I gotta deal with my dog real quick.
Yeah, no worries. But that's what that phone call was connecting to, where she's like, "Oh, you know, I hope you come to my birthday. I'm 18 now," which I thought was super funny. But what I want to ask you two, the last thing, and we'll get out of here, is and thank you guys so much for helping me out. I know it took a little bit of your time. Where do we go from here for Devil May Cry with 6? Like, where do you want it to go? Do you want a game with Nero only? Do you want, you know, Dante and Virgil to come back? Do you want a game where there's more characters again? Like, what do you want to see in Devil May Cry 6? Like, what do you personally want to see, JJ?
I like the back and forth of the characters. I wouldn't mind seeing that again.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want a just Nero game, but.
Because I don't think Nero hit his growing point. I still think he can grow a little bit. Just how he kind of handled a lot of situations in this game. He just overreacted big time. Like, he just cried.
I guess I want a buddy cop Virgil and Dante game.
Yeah.
Where you're coming out of, where maybe like Nero or Trish or Lady's in trouble and you gotta fight your way out of hell.
It'd be interesting to see if you do play 4, because it is a fun game, but
I have it downloaded.
This one's a lot better. Like, this just feels so nice. It just handles so good. Like, it handles where 4, you could tell maybe 10 years ago they didn't have the right vision, you know, going for, you know, obviously they had a new character. How they handled Dante. Well, basically how 4 goes is Nero fucks it all up, and then Dante cleans everything up. You know, fixes all his mistakes for him and stuff like that. And Nero still gets the big bad boss battle at the end and wins, you know, obviously. But it's a fun game. It has a special place in my heart. It was reviewed really well when it came out, but a lot of fans and a lot of people now kind of shrug it off. You know, people grow, opinions change and stuff. But I'm with you, JJ, 100%. I don't want a single Nero game. I want what you just said. Would be the perfect Devil May Cry game for me is Dante and Virgil going on a mission together, where Virgil actually has missions, where every time Virgil's been a character in a game, it's not his own missions. You're just replaying the game as Virgil. He has his own moveset and everything, and maybe we'll have a couple different cutscenes, but I want an actual game where, you know, Virgil is the focus, and I think they can. I think that was Itsuno's point of this game, is to fix what was wrong with Devil May Cry. You know, bring Virgil back, make the fans happy, make Nero badass, where he was kind of a whiner. Still is a little bit in that. There's still a little bit of Nero a whiner in this. But that is the perfect Devil May Cry game for me, is the Dante and Virgil game together. And this one is so close. Like I said, this is the best Devil May Cry game, period. But 3 will always be my favorite. That is just that story between Lady and Dante, which is not her real name, by the way. It's just funny that Dante's kind of a punk asshole, and he just calls her Lady throughout the whole game. And it just sticks with her. It's really fun. But I really liked their connection together, and I liked how Lady gave him the name. You know, Devil May Cry. You know.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That's a really fun moment. And we'll see what Steve has to say. But I really enjoyed this game, guys. It was a really fun. We don't really do reviews on here, Spoilercast. We just have fun. We talk about our opinions and stuff like that, and talk about Game of the Year. I think our Game of the Year discussion this year is going to be really interesting, because last year, majority of the Golden God and Friends cast, it was unanimous with God of War. This year, it might be tough. It might be tough, you know.
What I think we should do for the channel this year, is you get about 4 or 5 of us again.
Yep.
And yourself. And as soon as nominees and that is announced, we all fill something out. We'll talk about it, and then we'll all fill it out. Who we think's gonna win, and we can have like a contest.
Oh yeah, like a bet. Yeah.
Well,
that's what we did. I wrote everything down last time, and we all kind of just went around the panel and talked.
And then obviously after the game, obviously after the Game Awards, we'll have a discussion.
This year we'll probably be able to live stream it together because of Discord and stuff now.
For sure.
If you guys didn't know, I do apologize. This was supposed to be our first Discord and have the face cam back and everything, but I still have to work out a lot of audio issues and stuff on it. Once I figure it out, I think I just need to lower my guest voice, because I don't understand. I have a very good mic, and I just don't sound good every time I play it back. So I need to figure that out. Once I figure that out, I think we'll be good. Steve will join the Discord. JJ already joined the Discord. I'll even probably have a section of the Discord for you guys to join and hang out and discuss stuff. I freaking Nero. I love Dante. I'm watching the scene right now where Dante's like, "You're just dead weight. Get out of here." And then V grabs him and like, "Hey, let's go, Nero." Because it looks really bad. It looks like a tentacle porn. But it's a really great game. Like I said, this is just a love letter to Devil May Cry fans. I had a lot of fun playing this. That's just made me so happy. And you can go back and watch the live streams. And thank you guys so much for the live streams lately. You guys have been killing it. I've been having so much fun. You know, we've been playing a lot of different games. Dark Souls, Sekiro. I'm doing my Persona 4 Platinum run right now. We've been doing that as well. There'll probably be no other stream tonight. We were going to play some Dark Souls, but Timmy's got to go to bed pretty early. So we're probably going to hop off, and I'm probably going to play just some Dark Souls offline with him. But I want to get Steve's opinion when he comes back from his dog.
I am ill.
Oh, shit, I didn't even know you were back.
I just came back just now.
Okay, Steve, where do you want it to go from here? JJ and I just talked about the ending, like where we wanted to go. What JJ and I said, we don't want a Nero game, but we want a buddy cop Dante and Virgil game. And that was what I told you yesterday, was what I really wanted. This is almost the perfect Devil May Cry game. That was the one missing piece, is I want a Virgil and Dante actual storyline where you can play as Virgil through the game. Like, that's what I want. I know, quote unquote, we were V, but I want actual legit storyline with Virgil buddy cop movie. What do you want from Devil May Cry 6, Steve? To end it out. I'll give you the last word.
That probably actually would be like the best choice because the last two games we got nothing but fucking Nero and
Dante.
The fourth one.
Dante, yeah.
And then for this one, it was like Nero, Dante, and then Neri. No, hold on. And V. Dante we didn't get to play until almost the end, which was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, you play as him pretty later. Mission 10 is when you play as Dante. That's about halfway through. About halfway through.
Honestly, for the next one, it should be Dante and Virgil trying to close up hell.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're gonna bring Mundus back. Is what I feel. Do you guys feel like they can make a game without Dante?
Honestly, no.
What about you, JJ?
Oh, no, he was definitely my favorite character.
he's
I've
got some
the other ones, and he's definitely the best character.
You can definitely tell on these two Capcom games they just made, though, a lot of love was put in both of these games, and you can tell the good fortune's right. They're almost there. And I forgot to mention, I love the freaking motorcycle Dante gets. That's so awesome.
Dude,
that shit was funny too.
That was a crazy weapon.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention that earlier, where you just rip a motorcycle in half and then you use it as a weapon and put it back together and run people over. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, I love Dante's weapons in this game. Like the Cerebus weapon, where you get 3 forms of it. You get the nunchucks, the staff, and then you get like the giant Nujuku. Like, that was really cool. Like, the Dante just felt so damn awesome in this game, and that's what made Dante so great, was not only his wittiness and his goofiness, as we see the motorcycle being made right now, you guys, but it's just good to see him how he is. Like, it's just good to see everybody back. Lady Trish, even though it was kind of brief, they were kind of just hanging out, naked, mostly. But it was cool to see Nero back. It was cool to see it. This was a long time coming, man. It was 10 years in the making. I strongly believe they're going to do Dino Crisis. They're going to do more remakes in the future. They're making too much money from the remakes. They're going to constantly make more remakes. I strongly believe that. I think they'll fix Devil May Cry 2, but I think they'll remake 1 first out of respect for Hideki Kamiya, and maybe make it more modern style, make it a more modern game like RE2 remake was, where RE2 was more modern than what it was originally. It wasn't those fake controls and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed this game. Any last words, guys?
No.
Yes.
Go ahead, Steve.
If they're gonna do a 6, put a co-op with Dante and Virgil.
Oh, where you play as both of them at the same time?
Yeah, because that makes more sense, to be honest. Unless you're in like a different area, like you have to go one way.
That'd
or
be
you go
crazy as shit, bro. You Shaolin monking it? Shaolin monks right now?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if they did that. But I think they should do the buddy cop thing. I think it's cool to see the brothers back together. That ending in 3 still resonates with me a lot, where, you know, Dante lost his brother, you know, and then see what his brother became in Devil May Cry 1, where he became this slave to Mundus. It's cool to see Virgil back. I mean, maybe not cut off your son's arm, but hey, you know, it worked out. He grew it back. It's not a big deal. And maybe not kill, you know,
it's not a big deal.
100,000 people, maybe. You know, it's okay. He killed the whole city. It's not a big. Whatever. We'll move past it. But thank you guys so much. Shout out to Steve and JJ. Thank you so much for hanging out on the Spoilercast. This will be the stream tonight, guys. We did an hour and 40 for you guys. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate JJ and Steve hanging out with me. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, tell us what you think of Devil May Cry 5. Are you interested? Do you want to see remakes of 1 and 2? Because I don't think they're going to touch 3. I think 3 will stay how it is. I think 4 will stay. 4 technically got a re-release already at 4 Special Edition. But I think 1 and 2 are so old that they could modernize them a little bit for sure. Absolutely. But thank you guys so much. We got a lot more on the channel coming. Mortal Kombat 11, Days Gone, coming this month. We'll play some more Sekiro, some more Dark Souls, Platinum Run, and Persona 4. Thank you guys for chilling with me. But your fellow StraussMan, the GG, JJ, Steve Areno, we're outie.